What's up, Nitro Gang? This is a vintage 2002 Tamiya Terra Crusher. And in this video, we're going to take a quick look under the body, do a little chassis overview, and I will be firing this up.
We got the Nitro Gang out here.
Nitro World Order. This was my second brand new Nitro when I first got into the hobby. And guys, I am excited to be able to share this truck with you. Now, this particular one I purchased used. The prior seller definitely tried to kill it. But you know what? I rescued it, and we're going to see whether a 21-year-old truck still has what it takes. You want to know what this truck has, don't you? Well, it's got a 2-speed. It's got an automatic forward reverse transmission. It's got a real 5th scale servo for an 8th scale truck. It's got electric start. You want to take a look under the body, huh? Because I know your eyeballs are staring at exactly what's going on. There's danger stickers, there's wires, there's electronic connections. This is what Nitros are all about. You're not going to find any information on how to repair an arm or diff in this video. Back in 2002, this truck retailed for around $399, depending where you purchased it. Now, I paid, you would have guessed it, yes, $399. It was ready to run, brand new in box, and I had a great time with the Tamiya Terra Crusher. Let me show you a couple of the interesting things about it. We do have dual shocks all the way around, of course, very similar to the HPI Savage, very similar to the Traxxas t-maxx. But this body, this is a true 1/8 scale truck. The wheels are pneumatic, and they are enormous. Take a look at how giant this wheel actually is. If I put the Fly Sky radio next to it, that will give you a good understanding of how giant this wheel is. All traction utility. Interesting. Wonder if you could get these in a BF Goodrich. Probably not. Just kidding around, guys. Like the t-maxx, this does come with an electric start system. Here is the original Tamiya starter unit. Has a 20 amp fuse, exactly how you would have it in an automotive vehicle. Interesting. Currently, I'm running a small 2S LiPo, but originally this would have been a regular 6-cell NiCad or NIMH battery pack. Unfortunately, these starters break over time. I have lost the cover, but this thing will in fact still work. Should we take the body off? I wish I had a pair of extra hands here to take the body off. Oh, wow. Some extra hands showed up and they're not mine. You see that? Extra hands, extra hands. Thank you for that, magic body removal assistant. Take a look at the chassis. I know you're asking yourself, why is there no big block? Why do we have a small .18 engine? Well, guys, this is the year 2002. This was a .18 engine. Now, normally this had a fan shroud over here over the spur gear. This one is missing that. We do have a built-in cooling fan that, if you take a real close look, this cooling fan is in fact the flywheel. Pretty genius design. I do want to tell you that the cooling fan does in fact work, kind of similar to the 5th scale gas engines, where the flywheel is in essence a fan. We do have a vented clutch belt on the inside. This came originally with a nice aluminum 2-shoe clutch. So honestly, a lot of updates and upgrades compared to its main competitor, which at the time was the t-maxx. Now, I'm going to have to swing this truck around here for a second, because I'm going to show you something that this truck is known for. Now, this is either good or it's bad, depending how you look at it. the frat transmission. Forward and reverse automatic transmission. This thing had reverse, it had forward, and of course it had brakes via these two giant disc brakes. But the problem is, how did it get forward, reverse, and brakes with only 2 channels? Well, Tamiya said we don't need a 3rd channel like the T-maxx. We're going to use a 2-channel system. It has a very clever and a little bit difficult to work on throttle linkage. Here we have our entire throttle linkage. Basically comprises 3 different rods. Here's the brake rod. Here's the rod that goes to the forward and reverse. You can see I could shift it easily here with my finger. So you're either in neutral, pushed in is forward, and pushed all the way out is reverse. There's a shift fork exactly the same as it is in a T-maxx, except here it all is accomplished with springs and with crazy servo saver setups. Our throttle linkage is right here. If I open it, you could see it opens up the carb. Now I'll show you guys later the way this works when you're going forward and reverse. It's kind of clever and a little bit interesting. I want to tell you guys something right now. I have just a basic electronic setup here. In fact, I need to remove the original 2-channel receiver, but that requires disassembling the throttle linkage, taking out the upper portion of the radio box. It's going to be a little bit of work for me. So for now, we're just going to have the regular FlySky electronics sticking out. We're running AA's. It should be good. Let's take a look at the stock suspension. I haven't done anything to these shocks. These are oil-filled plastic bodies, plastic caps with just regular preload. Suspension travel is quite adequate in my opinion. So it sounds like either one or both of the shocks need some oil. Let's check out the front end. Okay, the front end seems well dampened, but it probably needs a little bit of extra preload because I can tell it doesn't go all the way up. The front bumper looks like somebody tried to glue it back together with shoe glue, did a terrible job. I would rather they have just left it alone. Now this is a true 8th scale truck. And guys, I know it's hard to tell, but under this upper radio box cover, there is a real 5th scale servo. And it does in fact have a great amount of torque for the time period. Let me show you under the chassis. This truck uses extremely beefy drivetrain components. Take a look at how thick the drive shafts are, all metal, no plastic here, guys. This is not one of those trucks that you needed to get the MIP upgrades for. This was, I gotta tell you, other than the transmission getting old with time, the transmission, the drivetrain, the diffs, everything was bulletproof, right? They figured out how to bulletproof it. They also figured out how to give you a giant amount of danger stickers, right? Danger, rotating parts. You definitely knew not to stick your finger in there, you know, rotating parts. Now here you once again cannot see the actual true size of the 5th scale servo. We have a fairly proprietary style of dog bones going to the wheels. If they break, well, you need to find yourself an original set of these Tamiya parts. It is not going to be easy. One of the defects here, and this is the way I purchased it, here is the original electronic start, right? So it's normally supposed to slot into the unit right there and make contact. I am missing the housing that was supposed to be over here. Originally, this would have just stuck up like that, and you slide the slider from the top and it fires it up. We also have an onboard glow plug warmer. Wiring harness is fairly replaceable, but good luck trying to find some of the original parts that you need to this day. In fact, you could still see the original cap with the wire style zip tie is still here to cover up the cap. So normally you would have had it. The electronic circuit board would slot in directly over here. Boom, plug it up and you're good to go. Let's take another look at some of the other interesting features here. Oh man, did I run out of interesting features? I think I ran out of interesting features. Other than the missing housing for the electric start, there are exactly at least 2 major issues I am aware of. Let me tell you what they are, then we will fire it up. Now this prior owner has in fact screwed directly through the fuel tank. It's hard to tell, but this screw, which is holding the fuel tank through the bottom of this aluminum 2.5 millimeter chassis, in fact is directly inside the fuel tank. The prior owner was kind of a, well, he definitely tried to kill it. I think we do have a good seal. The O-ring is still in normal condition, so we should have adequate pressure. We are also missing the original primer. It is busted. Other than that, I think the tank is okay. Another major issue, and this is something where I will ask you guys' opinion. The engine has close to zero, I would say even negative compression. So take a look as I spin over this flywheel, which in fact is a fan. I am easily able to spin it over. Absolutely no resistance on the inside from that ABN style engine. Is quite a shame. These are kind of proprietary engines. It's not that easy to replace with anything that you can buy today. Now I have an option. I could either get it repinched or try to install an HPI T3.0. But those are our issues right now. Fuel tank, missing electric start cover, and also completely close to zero negative compression. Now that goes without saying, we could have a problem with the forward reverse automatic transmission as well. This thing is very, very complicated. There are entire posts on forums dedicated to just the adjustment of this transmission. Minimal adjustments here really matter. Let me show you the way this system works. I will power on my FlySky. Basically, since I don't have the original radio, let's get the power switch here turned on. Now check out first, before I show you, what the steering looks like with a fit scale servo. This is a very heavy truck, by the way. So as I move the wheels do in fact move, guys. It's not terrible. Running regular 4AA's, check it out. The steering servo is quiet, it's accurate, and it moves the truck with the wheels kind of, you know, stable. All right, let me show you the way the linkage itself here works. Keep an eye on my throttle trigger. As I press the gas, the carburetor opens, the disc brake disengages, and also the shift lever moves inwards. This is an entire, I would say, symphony of events going on here. So press the throttle, the disc brake has to disengage, the shift lever has to go into the forward position, and the carburetor has to open. There it goes. Single needle carb. What about reverse? Well, reverse, you just go like this. It also opens up the carburetor. Interesting linkage. So as I'm hitting the reverse, this is what happens. The shift lever is getting pulled out. The shift lever is that middle lever. The brakes are squeezed and the carb is opening, right? So basically, if you press the brakes a little bit, you get brakes. But if you go a little bit more, you see I'm pushing the brakes all the way to the back there. Well, now you're getting reverse. You have to be kind of careful how you drive this, because if you're driving forward and you're used to just regular brakes, just going like that, well, you're gonna go straight from full forward to full reverse. You know, and the forward reverse automatic trans, the frat, it doesn't like going from full forward to full reverse. It's called trying to kill it. So you really need a gentle, well, way of driving it. Now that I've showed you some of the intricate features, the uniqueness of this truck, I think it's something that we need to actually test out with a fire up. Are you ready? Because I'm holding the electric start unit. Who knows what's gonna happen, but let's hope nothing bad happens. It's a vintage Nitro. Prior owner mistreated it. I'm not gonna do that as much as I can help it. Of course, sometimes it happens, okay? So, got the electric start unit. The system is on. Going to take my fingers. Unfortunately, I don't have the correct adapter. Stick it in. Hope it's the right direction. We're gonna press the button. It might fire up. I haven't primed it right now, so maybe it'll self-prime. Let's see what happens. We're gonna fire this up. Sickening start. Look at that start, no problem. All right, started so fast that it died. So that was probably the old fuel that was in there. We have to fire it up again. It's running. It's a runner. Okay, we need to raise the throttle trim a little. Seems to run. All right, guys, it's a runner. So it's going forward, right? The forward works. Let's try reverse. Reverse works. Forward works. Reverse works. Sickening. Steering works. Everything works. Sick. Whoa. Try to kill my body. It's a runner. Yeah. So here it is. The spur gear is always spinning. When I hit the throttle a little bit, it engages, brakes, and then you could do reverse. Not too bad, right? A little bit of an interesting setup, huh? Let's do a small road test. We'll see what it's got, just a little bit. Well, it's going forward. It's moving. All right, it's moving. I'm not really killing it right now. Obviously, my battery pack is hanging loose. Let's see. Let's try that reverse. Yeah, there it goes. Reverse is weird. It works. I mean, it's the world's weirdest setup. Not going too fast because if my battery pack flies away, well, it'll be a runaway. You see what I mean? That's what we got. My throttle trim is a little too high now. I need to lower the throttle trim a little bit. The problem is I have low compression. That's why it's constantly engaging like that. Oh man. The world's weirdest reverse. The trans is okay though. It's the fact that I have low compression. But it's running, right? Let me touch that motor, guys. It's probably gonna be cooking. Oh man, it's hot. All right, it shut down, it shut down. So we just did a small little test over here. You know, well, we got low compression, so obviously the motor is cooked, right? But the trans works, the linkages seem to be okay. I will figure out this setup. Probably gonna be a little bit difficult removing all of this because, well, it's a little bit tough to get all these linkages out. I already actually checked. The screw, the plastic part is completely stripped on the inside. Well, Tamiya Terra Crusher, should you get one? Why the hell not? Think about all the hours you'll spend investigating what's wrong with your linkages. Think about all of the hours you'll also spend thinking about the fraternity you might have been in college. It already has a frat. This thing isn't a frat, guys. So we didn't use that much fuel during this test. This is a single needle carb, so if you're wondering, well, how come I let her run that rich? Single needle carb, right? So we can't adjust the low speed needle. There it is, guys. Tell me in the comments what you think I should be doing with this in terms of getting a repinch for the Tamiya engine, because honestly, the electric start, it works. It's not terrible. Fuel system probably could use a little bit of work. I could see some leakage right here from the screw. So the fuel, the oil is penetrating from that hole. It's okay for a short period of time, but of course, if you want to run normally, you need the fuel system to be correctly pressurized. That's it for now. Tamiya Terra Crusher needs more work, but it's a nitro from 2002 that makes it 21 years old. It's legal to drink, and that is why we have a frat transmission. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, make sure you're a subscriber. This channel, well, we do anything, whatever it takes to make nitros great again. You will see this one back. It will be running in its full glory. Until then, see you guys later. Peace out. Nitro World Order.
Nitro World Order.